Every leader faces a moment of hesitation, that quiet, private question, am I ready for this? Hello, and welcome back to Insights on the Go. Today, we're going to spend some time talking about confidence and competence. I'm calling this short episode the confidence-competence loop. So let's get started. We all want to appear confident, but here's the truth. Confidence isn't a mask we wear. It's actually a muscle we build. I believe that confidence and competence are partners in our own growth. One fuels the other. Confidence will push you to try, and competence proves that you actually can. And when those two are working together, they create momentum that transforms how you lead. So, part one of our conversation today is the cycle of growth. Confidence fuels action. Now, confident isn't the absence of fear. We all live with a little bit of fear. However, it is the decision to move despite the fear. When you take action, even a small one, you begin to build evidence that you can. And that evidence becomes confidence. Now, think about the first time you led a meeting, shared an idea, or managed a conflict. You didn't have all of the answers, but you acted. That act built proof. That proof became belief. That is the beginning of the confidence-competence loop. Every act of courage strengthens your competence, and every bit of confidence fuels deeper confidence. Now, part two is the trap of false confidence. But here's the danger. Confidence without competence is noise. It is easy to get addicted to how confidence looks, decisive, bold, certain, while neglecting how competence feels, prepared, skilled, and disciplined. True leaders balance the two. They speak with conviction, but listen with humility. They don't lead because they know it all. They lead because they are willing to keep the learning going. I believe we teach that humility isn't weakness. It's your greatest strength, as a matter of fact. It keeps confidence grounded in the truth. So remember, we can show a great deal of confidence, but that confidence has to be paired with your competence. And confidence should never override your competence. Competence has to keep up. You have to continue to learn. You have to continue to build your skill set. And remember, humility is a super strength. So make sure that you are being humble, that you are listening, and that it keeps you grounded in the truth. Now, we're going to go ahead and move to part three of our conversation. Competence sustains confidence. Now, competence isn't just for appearances, right? Competence doesn't just appear. It builds over time through repetition, reflection, and resilience. So, in other words, you have to not only learn the skills that will make you a competent leader, you have to continue to practice those. And that is going to give you an opportunity to be reflective, but also be resilient. So, confidence may open doors, but competence keeps it from closing. And I like that. Confidence may open the door, but competence keeps it from closing. So ask yourself, where do I feel most confident? And this is a really important question. And it's going to fuel what you do next. Now ask, does my competence match that confidence? So they always go hand in hand. Because real confidence isn't loud, it's quiet assurance that comes from preparation and integrity. In other words, we don't wing it. We don't pretend to have it all together, right? We have to understand that confidence and competence comes together when you put your fears aside, but you are also preparing yourself with a high degree of integrity. Now, let's talk about the application of confidence and competence. Now, the leadership application of this loop. As leaders, we must model the loop for others. Our job is to encourage our teams to step forward before they feel ready. That's confidence. Then support them as they build the skill. That's competence. When you build a culture that celebrates both courage and learning, you build a team that grows together. And I think that's a beautiful thing because you want to be able to have people in your professional environment that have a commitment to learning and to celebrating that. And they can partner with you to build a culture of learning. Confidence without competence breeds arrogance. Competence without confidence breeds invisibility. But when you balance both, you create influence that endures. So let's talk a little bit about reflection and takeaways. So this week, my invitation to you is to audit your loop. Identify one area where you feel confident and one skill that could strengthen that confidence through growth. Invest in that skill. So read, ask, practice, and reflect. And guess what? Put it on repeat. Read, ask, practice, and reflect. Because leadership isn't about knowing everything, it's about continually becoming more capable, more grounded, and more whole. And remember, confidence fuels growth, competence sustains it. So together, they create a leader who doesn't just succeed, but that inspires. I believe leadership is a lifelong practice of reflection, courage, and self mastery. Now, let's build your confidence and your competence and your capacity to lead from the inside out. Once again, thank you for joining me. Have an amazing night, and I will see you on the next one.